So the question is, does Daniel Dubois deserve the undisputed opportunity based on his recent attributes? Okay. In short, no. Okay, he doesn't. I think when you start skipping steps or cutting corners, I think it's always room for disaster. And the reason I'm saying that is because Daniel Dubois got a lot of stick for becoming the IBF champion. And a lot of people looked at Oleksandr Usyk as the true undisputed champion anyway. Now they're fighting again to prove, I guess, who the true champion is, or basically just giving Daniel Dubois an opportunity to get the rest of the belts, because a lot of people thought the IBF belt belonged to Oleksandr Usyk anyway. You see what I mean? So there's a lot of ways that you can look at this particular issue. But Daniel Dubois was scheduled to fight Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker fought Martin McCauley instead. Martin McCauley, as we know, wasn't really in shape. So since Martin McCauley wasn't in shape, that cheated Martin McCauley as well as cheated Joseph Parker from a proper victory, because he fought a guy that had to jump in short notice. Okay? But he still was able to fight. He still got paid. But he still got or missed his opportunity. Whereas Daniel Dubois gets sick from some strange circumstances that really wasn't transparent like it should have been. And based on that, he's getting an opportunity to fight the dude that gave him that one belt that was giving him drama anyway, which was the IBF, an opportunity to fight for all the belts, because of course Oleksandr Usyk is the unified champion nonetheless. So no, it don't really add up, to be fair. It doesn't add up, to be fair. So when you're looking at Joseph Parker is next in line, but he still has to wait for the opportunity, because you know that's not really set in stone that will happen. You know what I mean? That doesn't mean just because the WBO is next in line to fight for that title or titles of, you know, based on who has it, that it's going to go that way. So nonetheless, we have politics on top of politics on top of more politics. So no, Daniel Dubois doesn't deserve to fight Usyk, but it's happening. You know what I'm saying? Just like Anthony Joshua wouldn't have got a shot at the undisputed title because he didn't deserve it based on other people's wins and losses. You know, so I mean, it is what it is. At least we do have guys that are in a higher position like AJ that are following in line, admitting like, hey, this is how it's supposed to be. So at least they have enough integrity to say, you know what, this is how it goes. The only problem with that is we don't see that from Daniel Dubois. We don't see that from Frank Warren, because they're in position to fight for everything. That's why. They don't give a shit about what's right and wrong. I don't think Daniel does either. I think what he's concerned about is the opportunity in front of him. But if you're a businessman, that's how exactly you're supposed to be thinking. You know, I don't know what this is. I don't know if this is the... But anyway, let's do this, because it is a... I don't know what that mask is. But anyway, I think it's one of those things, man, where if you really look at Daniel Dubois, you know, his downfall may be not fighting Joseph Parker to prep him to fight someone like Oleksandr Usyk. You see what I mean? I think that was a necessary step that he's skipping. We will see it in time, but if it happens, I'm going to be the one, and in this situation, I'm going to be glad to be the one that tell everybody, hey, I told you so. Because Joseph Parker, being a guy, let's say he's a moderate boxer with B or C plus skills, versus a guy like Usyk with A- or A+ skills. And the style of fight that he's dealing with, it's almost like Canelo Alvarez fighting William Skull, that prepares him for someone that may or may not move, like Terrence Crawford. That's the right formation, because you're in the right ballpark, because you at least know how and who to condition yourself up against, preparing for the next fight that you know that you must fight. You see what I mean? Whereas Daniel Dubois is going right back into a fight where the good news is he knows Oleksandr Usyk. But I think the bad news for him is he's still rusty. Because for one, he's inactive, right? Because he's supposed to fight. And if anything, Daniel Dubois supposed to took on Joseph Parker. And because he's not, he's going to pay a price for it. You know, so no, I don't think that he deserves to get that title, because normally when a fight is postponed to that nature, you know, it's rescheduled, and that fight happens before any other fight can happen, instead of them saying, hey, we got an opportunity, you know, to fight. So that's my take on it. You guys tell me what you think. Of course, please subscribe, and you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.